All right, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to your full moon reading in Leo on the 28th of January in the Northern Hemisphere, or Friday the 29th of January in the Southern Hemisphere. This little one's going a little bit crazy right now, so if you hear any extra noise, don't mind her. Full moon in Leo, super strong energy. If you haven't already been feeling it, you definitely will. Leos like to be seen, they like to be heard, they like to be acknowledged, and they are generally pretty open with their emotions. They're also a fixed sign, so they don't like to be rushed. You know, they're relatively... They do things in their own time. They're unlike the mutable signs that can kind of flow. They like things to kind of be in a certain order. So some of the energy that might be coming up for you this new or full moon is this sort of discomfort around not having things go a certain way and not feeling overly comfortable about those changes. And I've been seeing, and if you are on YouTube with me, you might notice that there are a lot of Leo drama or full moon dramatic, emotional, blah, blah. Like, yes, Leo is a big sign, and yes, this full moon is particularly strong. It's also called the full wolf moon. But if you can bring your attention to your heart during these full moon times, and if you can think of using your heart to lead you in your decision making and lead you in the way that you want to communicate with people instead of just being reactive, then your opportunities in this full moon are going to be very different than what people are saying on YouTube or what sort of other astrologers are saying about the drama of this full moon. Because every full moon gives you an opportunity for things to come to fruition and to release. And the energy of this full moon in Leo is very much like, say what you need to say, but be with your heart and stay with your heart as things come up. Because if you can stay present, you know, in your breathing and with your heart space and what your heart and your gut are kind of telling you, then your communication is not going to be dramatic, and it's not going to be this sort of over-the-top, flamboyant explosion of emotions. There's going to be a really beautiful opportunity to allow things to become really clear, even if those kind of bigger emotions are coming up. So, as usual, I'm going to do my 4-card reading. Primary energy up top, shadow energy underneath, the energy that you're not necessarily seeing and you need someone to bring it to light for you. And our pathway read, energy that's keeping us stuck on top, and energy underneath is the one that we can embody in this full moon cycle to help free ourselves. If you like what you are seeing, I love to hear comments, feedback. I'm also doing free readings right now. I'll put a link in the description box of YouTube. And if you're on Instagram, it's in my bio. Get an opportunity to get on these free readings. I'm not going to be doing them forever. And they're really fun, and they're a really good opportunity for you to just kind of see what's going on with yourself in your current situation. I'm just going to take my kitten out of the garbage can. Come here. Somebody's a little bit into the trash this morning. Okay. There you go. There we are. There. Okay. This is going to be a little ironic with all of the sort of energy and drama that we just talked about with the full moon in Leo, because this is our primary card, our moon card. And the energy that's coming up for this primary sense is a sense of redundancy and a sense of repetition. And it might feel kind of frustrating, and it might feel kind of like the messages that you're getting, or the changes that you're being told that you need to make, or the sort of medicine that you've been given, you already know. You know, you might get this card and you kind of go, I already know what I need to do. I already know what I need to change, or I know what needs to be said, and I haven't been saying it. And there's this sort of sense of this sort of shadow behind you, of this soft, but this pressure of what hasn't been said and what hasn't been communicated in this full moon. And the thing about full moons is that they bring everything to the surface, whether you like it or not. So check in with yourselves and, you know, is there a sense of energy or a sense of knowingness within you that there's some sort of communication that you haven't been making, or some sort of change that you haven't been able to implement, and allow that redundancy or that sense of like, I already know what I need to do, to serve as just your messenger. You know, it doesn't mean that you need to berate yourself for not doing what you need to be doing, but allowing it to be the messenger of, what is this saying about where I'm at right now? Do I need to give myself some more compassion because I'm trying to adapt to a lot of things at once, and that one change that I've really been wanting to make, I just don't feel like I have the space for right now? Or is it a sense of lack of confidence? You know, I don't think I can make this communication, or I don't think I can make this change. And just allow it to communicate to you. Allow it to be the messenger that lets you know what's going on with your deeper self. And this one, the funny thing about like super strong full moons is they take a little bit of effort and a little bit of work. And that effort often comes from, you know, staying centered and sort of being a bit rooted and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Stubborn in your roots and in your sense of groundedness, to not get really thrown off, and to not, you know, listen to all the other recordings on YouTube that are talking about how dramatic this full moon is going to be, or how, you know, intense it's going to be. And like, yes, those energies are present, but can you be a little bit stubborn with your sense of self and your sense of presence, and really allow yourself to become the eye of the storm while everything else is sort of moving around you? So with that sort of need of sense of effort, we've got our shadow card here, which is the Air Guardian. And she's very beautiful. She doesn't turn up all that often, but the energies that I'm getting for this shadow energy, or this shadow read, is that there is another way for you to look at your situation that you're kind of being unwilling to step into. So, you know, when it comes to making changes again, or doing something differently in your life, the energy that I'm getting is that a lot of you are able to see what's on the other side of the fence, and you're able to see what needs to be done to be able to get there. But there's this choice of saying, I can't do it, instead of being more honest with yourself and saying, I'm not willing to do it. And if you can allow yourself to suspend your disbelief temporarily and walk through suspending your disbelief, you know, you don't have to say, okay, I've changed my mindset, I'm going to do this thing. You know, you can continue to walk forwards even if you've got that resistance, or even if you've got that doubt, and see where you go and see where it takes you. You know, there's, I don't remember where I heard this expression, but it's like, where the body goes, the mind follows. So if you can just say you want to implement a new habit. If you can do the habit or start practicing the habit with your body and with your physical self before you have the motivation or before you have that sort of mental shift, the physical act of doing it all the time will bring that mental shift to you. So I feel there's been a lot of this like, oh, I'll do this when, or oh, I'll make this change when. And the pandemic is really being used as an excuse. And I know that we are in phenomenal times and that everybody is under a certain type of stress, whether it is more strong than the other or than another's. But, saying things like, I will do this when things go back to normal, is never going to happen. So can you challenge yourself a little bit? Again, that sort of stubbornness in your sense of presence and that willingness to make a little bit of an effort. And can you challenge yourself to start to take the steps that you might need to take before you really feel comfortable doing it or before you really feel willing? Take one step and usually the next one will present itself. And your mind will come along for the ride once you show yourself that you're moving forwards, whether your mind likes it or not. So that's our primary read, and now our pathway read. So interesting. Okay. So our block up here is our really beautiful animal guardian card. I love her. That's our block. And she actually came to us in reverse. So this way. And our path is our beautiful treater. And the general sense of this pathway read is about community and about connection. And this card right here of this beautiful animal guardian being surrounded by all of her protective friends and all of her animal friends. The block for this full moon is this sense of loneliness and this sense of, I'm so alone, my social life has totally been disrupted and I'm never going to find a partner, and how am I supposed to date in these uncertain times? And there's this really large sense of wall building of, well, I don't know how things are going to go, so I feel like I am just by myself. And the dangerous thing about kind of constantly telling ourselves something or constantly telling ourselves that we're lonely is that we will bring that energy towards us. And I just did a video on my Facebook group on Transmission Tuesdays about our use of language and how that really draws certain energies to us. And having our beloved guardian upside down and this sense of loneliness really is speaking to kind of the dangers of always believing that, or kind of on the other side of the fence there, what's so bad about being alone for a little bit? Are you only saying that it's bad, or are you only feeling upset about being lonely or being alone because we have been socialized in this sense of we need to have all these amazing friends and we need to have our one partner by the time we're in our 30s, and everything needs to be flowing. And many people who choose that lifestyle don't necessarily have that sense of deep understanding of themselves. So see if you can get into where that sort of weight of the loneliness is coming from. But again, just because the world hasn't delivered to you exactly what you wanted in your mind that will make you feel less lonely, are there opportunities that you're sort of glazing past? Like, maybe you are in a work environment where you're working in person and you get to see people at your workspace, and maybe they're not the people that you would want to spend all of your time in the world with, but it's still social contact and it's still people in this world. And I feel like part of our challenge on this earth is to learn how to coexist a little better and how to live and let live a little better. So see if you can kind of pull attention to where you might actually be getting these connections and where you might have people around you and you're just not, sorry, kitten, you're just not accepting that they're there, and maybe you're building those walls yourself. And sort of on the other side there, our path through is our trader, and the essence of our trader card is exchange. You know, what do you have to offer that you can give somebody? Is it your time? Is it your attention? Is it, you know, a letter to show them that you're thinking about them? Or, you know, maybe it's your patience that you're exchanging and you're giving somebody a little bit more patience and a little bit more opportunity to tell their story when you normally wouldn't have a bar of it and you wouldn't really give it any sort of time of day. You know, where are the small sort of exchanges of energy that you can give that might really open up your connection to other people? And maybe that sort of exchange is just showing up, you know, making the phone call or making the effort and, you know, doing the uncomfortable thing. If you have social anxiety, you know, I feel really alone, but I don't get to see my friends because they're always so busy, but I also never call them. So, you know, can you do the uncomfortable thing and just make the phone call? Even if you don't necessarily get to see them right away or nothing really comes of it right away, having made that step to make the phone call does a lot more for your timeline and for your sort of energetic path than you might give yourself credit for. This full moon seems to be a little bit about doing the hard thing, and I'm sure a lot of you are really tired of hearing that because that feels, you know, it's felt like that for a long time, doing the hard thing. But there's a quote that my brother gave me actually that says, the hard road often becomes the easy road, and the easy road often becomes hard. So can you challenge yourself to do the hard thing first? And you might shock yourself at what opens up for you after that. So I hope that helped. I hope you have a really beautiful day. I hope you can flow through this full moon in Leo with as much grace and sort of determination as I know that you have. And as always, throw a heart on the video if you liked it, and share this with someone that you think they might resonate with, because I'm of service to you, and this is why I do this. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and blessings to you.